Friends, we will make a beginning with the multiple choice questions in the topic of partnership accounts. To make a beginning, question number 1. An ordinary partnership firm can have not more than 20 partners. A is the right answer. Friends, earlier also we discussed on this particular point, that is the limit on the number of partners is not imposed by the Partnership Act. It is given by the Companies Act. What the Companies Act says, in case the number of members coming together to do the business exceeds 20, necessarily they need to get themselves registered as a company. If they don't get registered as a company, then such an association, we term it as an illegal association. So this made us to say that in an ordinary partnership firm, the number of partners cannot exceed 20 partners. Then friends, partners' current accounts are opened when their capital accounts are fixed, fluctuating, and none. Fixed. What is this? Point here is, in case of a sole proprietorship, where only one person is doing the business, he will have capital account. Once it is a case of company, there can be different forms of capital like equity share capital and a preference share capital like that. In case of the partnership firm, what is this fixed capital method and fluctuating capital method, friends? Point here is, there will be n number of transactions between the partner and the partnership firm. What could be the possible transactions between the partner and the partnership firm? Partner may bring capital, partner may withdraw the money, partner may get interest on his capital, partner need to pay the interest on drawings. For a working partner, salary need to be paid. Then that particular partner may do extra efforts to increase the sales, wherein if agreed upon, commission need to be paid. If some of the personal properties of partners are being used by the partnership firm for its business, then rent for those properties need to be paid. Like that, there could be n number of transactions between the partner and the partnership firm. If all the transactions between the partner and the partnership firm are going to get accounted through only one account, what will happen, friends? Year after year, that particular capital account will be fluctuating. So, in that situation, partners may decide to do one thing. That is, they may think of keeping one particular amount of the capital as a fixed, and no transactions need to be routed through the capital account. All the transactions between the partner and partnership firm need to be accounted through an account called as current account. So, requirement to maintain the current account comes when the partners decide to make their capitals fixed. Once partners decide to keep their capitals fixed, then you require to maintain current account also. So, in fixed capital method of capital maintenance, there will be two accounts for the partner. One is capital account and another is current account. Whereas in fluctuating capital method, there will be no current account, only one capital account. Only through that only transactions gets routed as a point. So in the given question, partners' current accounts are opened. When current account open करने का जरूरत पड़ता, जब partners decide to keep their capitals fixed, then for accounting for all other transactions other than the fixed capital transaction, you require to open the current accounts as a point. So for question number 2, A is the right answer. Question number 3. interest on capital account of the partner is credited to. दोस्तों, interest that firm will pay to the partner is an expenditure from the partnership firm and income from the point of view of the partner. But whatever that partner need to get, either interest or remuneration or share of profit, it will not be just like that given. First it will be credited to his capital account and then he will withdraw the money. So what is the entry for interest on capital? Interest on capital is an expenditure for the firm and it is payable to whom? Partner. Entry is what? Interest on capital account dated to capital account. Write the entry, interest on capital account dated to partner's capital account. Interest on capital account dated to partner's capital account. So it is getting credited to which account, friends? Partner's capital account. So B is the right answer. Question number 4. In the absence of an agreement to the contrary, partners shall be paid salary, shall not be paid salary, be paid salary but only to the working partners. Already I explained this particular point, that is, in a partnership firm there could be working partners and sleeping partners. Who is sleeping partner? The one who contributes the money and don't do any work towards the firm. Then such a partner we call him as a sleeping partner. Who is a working partner? Who is going to do the work for the partnership firm. Only working partners need to get the salary is a point. So C is the right answer for question number 4. Question number 5. Interest payable on capital of the partners is charged. See, just now we have discussed what is the entry for interest on capital. But friends, please do remember, is this interest payable to the partners, is it a charge against the profit and loss account, or is it a charge against the profit and loss appropriation account? It is not a charge against the profit and loss account, friends. It is a charge against the profit and loss appropriation account. What is this? Why it is a charge against the profit and loss appropriation account? Friends, try to understand in this way. Whether you pay the amount to the partner in the form of salary or in the form of interest or in the form of share of profit, all these things will be what? After all, appropriations of the profit. Salary is paid to the working partners, interest is paid on capital for what purpose? It is paid to compensate the person who has brought more capital than the requirement. Let us suppose Monica and myself are partners. I am bringing 2 lakhs whereas she is bringing 1 lakh. And we are equal partners. Then am I not at a disadvantage? Definitely. Actually, what is the capital that I should also have brought? Only 1 lakh. Since I have brought more than the required amount of 1 lakh, the capital, then naturally I should be sufficiently remunerated in the form of interest is a point. So what is the point that we are driving here is, whether you call it as an interest or it's a salary or it is a share of profit, these are all appropriations of the profit. After profit, net profit you find out, then that net profit gets appropriated towards the salary, remuneration, that is a salary, interest and share of profit. So interest payable is an appropriation of the profit, so it will be debited to the profit and loss appropriation account. Write the entry. Earlier you wrote the creation entry, now you write the closing entry. Profit and loss appropriation account dated to profit and loss appropriation account dated to interest. Profit and loss appropriation account dated to interest on capital. Interest on capital. C is the right answer. Question number 6. What accounts are debited and credited to record the division of net income among the partners at the end of the accounting year? What is this question? That is, for distributing the share of profit among the partners, what is the entry that you are going to write? Entry is profit and loss appropriation account debtor to partners capital account. Profit and loss appropriation account debtor to partners capital account. This is the entry that you are going to pass to transfer the amount of the profit from profit and loss account to the capital accounts of the partners. Write the entry, friends. Profit and loss appropriation account debtor to partners capital account. A is the right answer. A is the right answer. Question number 7. When interest is to be allowed on capital of the partner, it is calculated on what? Interest you are going to calculate on what? Capital at the beginning of the year, capital at the end of the year, capital at the end less drawings if any, average capital, it will be calculated on capital at the beginning. A is the right answer. Question number 8. Current account of a partner may have debit balance or credit balance. If he is withdrawing more than what he has got in the current account, then it will show a debit balance. Whereas if the drawings are less than the amount that got credited to his current account, then it will show a credit balance is a point, friends. So current account can have, what is it, debit balance or the credit balance. Whereas capital account, fixed capital account should always have the credit balance. Current account of a partner may have a debit balance or a credit balance. C is the right answer. Question number 9. Which of the following items are added to the previous year's profit for finding the profit for goodwill valuation? Friends, you might have attended the class on goodwill. We have already traveled good amount of the goodwill part. Now it is only in the multiple choice questions. Again we are trying to get into the goodwill valuation, which is very, very important from the examination point of view. There when I taught you about the goodwill, I said whenever you are trying to value the goodwill, there are different methods. Purchase of average profits, purchase of super profits, annuity method, capitalization method. These are the 4 methods by which you are going to calculate the goodwill. Now the point of interest here is, naturally for purchase of that is a goodwill, for goodwill calculation, purchase of average profits, there when you calculate the average profits, one thing that you learned is any extraneous items like loss due to strike, loss due to flood, these extraneous losses and their effect must be eliminated. Loss का effect कैसे eliminate कर देते आप? By adding back that particular loss. और extraneous profit का the effect कैसे eliminate कर देते आप? By deduct करने से you are going to eliminate the effect of the extraneous profits. So what is one more important thing that you have to remember is, whenever we calculate the goodwill, for the purpose of goodwill valuation, what the profits you are going to consider is only the trading profits, and you will exclude the non-trading profits and the non-trading losses. One important thing that should go into your mind is, for calculation of the profit, for calculation of the goodwill, what is the profit that you are going to consider is a trading profit. If your net profit has got any non-trade items, then the effect of such non-trade items is to be eliminated. Similarly, if any extraordinary losses or extraordinary profits are there, their effect also should be eliminated. So in the question number 9, what we are saying, which of the following items are added to the previous year profit for finding the profits for the purpose of goodwill valuation? If there is a loss due to fire in the previous year, you are going to add back that particular loss due to fire. And if there is a loss due to sale of not invoice, if there is a loss due to a loss on sale of fixed assets, B bit is loss due to sale of a substantial part of the business. See, there you write loss due to sale of substantial part of the business. These are all extraneous losses. So all these extraneous losses only when you add back. After all, how you learn the goodwill? What is the purchase of average profit method? What is goodwill after all? Goodwill is the extra earning capacity. Extra earning capacity of the firm expressed in monetary terms. So, of course, that concept we have driven it in the super profit method. In the average profit method also, what you are doing? It is assumed that the same trend will continue in the future. So past profits ko average karke, that profits are going to continue for how many more years in the future? You will anticipate and you will multiply the average profit with the number of years that that profit is expected to continue, then that you call it as a value of the goodwill. So when you are looking at the value of the goodwill like number of years of purchase into average profits, that average profits should really represent the profits. So if those average profits has got any extraneous losses and all, you are going to eliminate. And similarly non-trade items है तो वो भी eliminate कर देते, क्योंकि दोस्तों please remember goodwill when we calculate that the profit which we consider for the valuation of the goodwill is purely a trading profit and it should not include any non-trade items also. This made us to say D is the right answer for question number 9. Question number 10. When premium in joint life policy is treated as an expense, joint life policy will appear in the balance sheet at what value? Friends, we studied in the concept discussion about the joint life policy and the accounting treatment for the joint life policy. See, point here is if joint life policy जो premium आप पे कर रहे हैं उसको expense माने तो there will be no joint life policy which appears in the balance sheet. In the first method what we said, by treating the premium as an expense, there will be no asset that gets created. So if you treat the joint life policy premium as an expense, then joint life policy account will have a nil value, nil balance. So D is the right answer. So for question number 10, D is the right answer. So joint life policy premium, if it is treated as an expense, since you are not going to capitalize any part of the joint life policy, so joint life policy will have the nil value is the point. D is the right answer. Question number 11. In the absence of an agreement to the contrary, no partner is entitled for salary or interest on the capital. If nothing is stated in the partnership deed, what we say, no partner is entitled for any salary or interest. See, salary and interest on account of what they will come into play. If there are working partners and sleeping partners, then definitely working partners need to be compensated for their work. That comes in the form of the salary. And in case if the capitals are not in proportion to their profit sharing ratio, a partner who brought more capital than the required capital, then such person should be compensated. Bolke we keep the interest. But unless and otherwise the partnership deed contains a clause for making the payment of the salary and the interest, no partner is entitled for salary or the interest on capital as a point. So in the absence of an agreement to the contrary, no partner is entitled for any salary or the interest on a capital as a point. D is the right answer. Question number 12. In a fixed capital system of partnership, the capital account of the partners change from year to year. All profits are credited to the capital account. Salary to the partner is credited to the current account. Only one capital account is maintained. See, friends, fixed capital system may capital account of the partners do not change from year to year. Add that, do not change from year to year. Because all other transactions between the partner and the partnership firm will get routed through the current account, capital account remains fixed. So in the fixed capital system of partnership, the capital account of the partners do not change from year to year. Do not add it. Then friends, B is the right answer for question number 12. Question number 13, profit and loss appropriation account is used to, profit and loss appropriation account किसके वास्ते हम प्रिपेयर करते? टू शो हाउ वी आर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिंग द प्रॉफिट्स अमंग द पार्टनर्स. सो डी इज द राइट आंसर. क्वेश्चन नंबर 14, what would be the accounting entry for partners withdrawal of cash in lieu of salary? So whenever partners are withdrawing the cash in lieu of the salary, first the salary gets credited to the current account, from there they are going to withdraw the money. So what is the entry for drawing the cash? Once capitals are maintained in the fixed capital methodology, then the entry for this particular salary being withdrawn, partner's current account dated to cash. Cash is going out, you have to debit the current account, partner's current account dated to cash. Debit partner's current account and credit the cash account. Question number 14, D is the right answer. Question number 15, friends. In the absence of the partnership deed, provisions of the Partnership Act 1932 lays down which of the following rights and duties on the partners. Friends, earlier also we discussed on this point, that is, in case of the partnership, what is more powerful is a deed, the agreement between the partners. Act comes into play only in a situation, where deed is silent on a particular thing. So what the question requires, in the absence of the partnership deed, the provisions of the Partnership Act 1932 lays down which of the following rights and duties. If you go through the Partnership Act, there you will find what are the rights and duties of the partners. Every partner has got a right to take part in the conduct and management of the firm's business. Yes, this is a right. You can't prevent one partner from coming to do or participate in the business of the partnership firm unless and otherwise there is a contrary stated in the partnership deeds. Every partner has got a right to receive the interest on loans and advances at 8% unless and otherwise agreed by the partner. Friends, once you go through the Partnership Act, that percentage is not 8%. Every partner has got a right to be indemnified for the expenses incurred by him in the firm's business. Yes, you might have studied the point that partner acts as an agent of the other partners. So once an agent spends some amount, then that agent will be entitled to get the reimbursement of the amount he has spent. Let us suppose in our partnership firm, I am making the payment of the rent every month. So then from my own personal money, I am paying the rent to the landlord. Then I will be entitled to recover that particular money from the partnership firm. Yes, this is a right. So in that case, select the correct answers using the quotes below. Both 1 and 3 are the rights, whereas the second is not a right in case of the partnership firm. So in case of the partnership firm, what are the rights of the partners in the absence of any agreement contrary in the partnership deed, every partner will get a right to participate in the business, and in case if that any partner spends some amount for partnership business, he can very well recover the same from the partnership firm is the second right. So for this 15th question, A is the right answer. 1 and 3 are the, what is it, the rights and duties of the partners. Question number 16. A, B, C and D are equal partners. A, B and D died together in a plane crash. This accident results in, see, for a partnership firm, when dissolution takes place, the minimum number to constitute a partnership firm is 2. If that minimum number is not there and it is falling down to 1, then it amounts to the dissolution of the partnership firm. So dissolution of the firm as well as dissolution of the partnership. So in case there are 4 partners and 3 died in an air crash, then only 1 remain, because the number is falling below the 2, the firm gets dissolved, so also the partnership. C is the right answer. Question number 17. Which of the following statements are appropriate in respect of partnership accounts? In the absence of any provision in the partnership agreement to the contrary, partners can charge interest at the rate of 6% per annum on the loans given by them to the partner. An ordinary partnership firm can have not more than 50 partners. No, this is correct statement. A banking partnership firm can have not more than 10 partners. This is right. See, generally partnership firm can have 20 partners and it cannot have more than 20 partners. If it is a banking business that is going to be carried on by the partnership firm, there the number of members cannot exceed 10. This is very, very important thing to remember from the examination point of view. In an ordinary partnership firm, the number of partners cannot exceed beyond 20, whereas in case if the partnership firm is going to do the business, banking business, then the number of partners cannot exceed 10. Then 4th is, in the absence of any provisions in the partnership agreement contrary, profits and losses are shared by the partners in the ratio of their capitals. No, in the absence of any agreement to the contrary, all the partners will share the profits equally is a point. So 4th is not a correct statement. 2nd is also not a correct statement. So 1 and 3. What is 1 and 3? In the absence of any provision to the contrary, if a partner gives a loan, on that loan, firm need to pay how much of the interest? 6% per annum. Who said so? Partnership Act says so. And second thing is, in case of a banking partnership firm, the number of members cannot exceed 10 partners is a point. Other than banking, it cannot exceed 20 is a point to be remembered. Question number 18. In the absence of an agreement to the contrary, partners share the profits and losses in equal ratio. D is the right answer. If nothing is stated in the problem also tomorrow, partners share of profit is what? Equal. Goodwill is an asset that represents what? What do you mean by goodwill? Earlier we discussed what is the meaning of the goodwill. Goodwill is the present value of the future earnings in excess of the normal earnings prevalent in the trade or industry. This is what we have given the definition to the goodwill, and this is exactly going to represent which method? This is exactly going to represent the annuity methods. See, what is goodwill? The extra earning capacity. Extra earning capacity का मतलब क्या है? What is the actual profit minus what is the future maintainable profits. The difference, future maintainable profit कैसा करेंगे आप? Average profit करके previous profits को जो adjustments होना, that is extraneous losses, extraneous profit, non-trading items, वो पूरा eliminate करे तो आपको future maintainable profit आ जाएगा. So actual profit minus the future maintainable profit, that is the difference is the super profit. That super profit also, how many number of years you are going to get, you will anticipate, and you are going to discount with the appropriate rate of discount. That gives you the present value of the future earnings in excess of the normal earnings prevalent in the trade. So super profit को कैसे calculate करें आप? Super profit को कैसे calculate करें? Actual profit minus normal profits. What is super profit? Super profit is equal to future maintainable profit minus actual profit. Yes, this requires a small correction, and also please write that is value of the goodwill is equal to discounted value of brackets present value of super profits. What is a super profit, friends? Super profit is equal to future maintainable profit, FMP, future maintainable profit minus normal profits. तो ये नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं आप? नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट इज इक्वल टू normal profit is equal to average capital employed multiplied by what is it? Average capital employed multiplied by normal rate of return. So for question number 19, C is the right answer. Question number 20. If the goodwill account is raised in the books of accounts, the amount is debited to. You might have already gone through the subject of the goodwill and is attending the class of multiple choice questions on the partnership. There you might have already studied about the methodology of accounting for the goodwill. What are the three methods I made you to learn? Number one is that is a premium method, wherein the new partner brings the cash towards his share of goodwill. Then revaluation method and memorandum revaluation method. These are the three methods in which goodwill accounting happens. So once goodwill is to be raised in the books of accounts, how you pass the entry? Write the entry for raising the goodwill. Goodwill is an asset. Debit the goodwill account and credit the partner's capital accounts. Write the entry. Goodwill account is raised, then the amount is debited to. What is the entry? Goodwill account debtor to partner's capital account. So here, instead of debited to, you put credited to, then the answer B is correct. Or other way around, in the B, you write instead of partner's capital, you write goodwill. Either way, since you have to go by solution, then in that case, there in the question you put credited to. When goodwill is raised in the books of account, the amount is credited to which account? Partner's capital account, because you are going to write the entry goodwill account debtor to partner's capital account. Question number 21. If goodwill is withdrawn by the partners, their accounts will be credited. Goodwill writing off differs from withdrawing, friends. Whenever they use the word withdrawing का मतलब क्या हुआ? कैश को withdraw कर रहे हो. No. तो एंट्री क्या है? Partner's capital account debtor to cash oblique bank. Entry. Partner's capital account debtor to cash oblique bank. So A is the right answer for question number 21. Question number 22. If the goodwill is raised at the time of retirement of a partner is to be written off, then capital account of the remaining partners are debited in. So what is this concept, friends? Once any partner is retiring, at that point of the retirement also you are going to value the goodwill. First you will raise the goodwill and then you will write off the goodwill. Once you raise the goodwill, it is to be raised in the old profit sharing ratio. Once it is going to be written off among the remaining partners, it must be written off in the new profit sharing ratio. Right there, goodwill will be raised in the old profit sharing ratio. Write down, goodwill will be raised in the old profit sharing ratio, and old profit sharing ratio among all the partners, and written off among the remaining partners, and written off among the remaining partners in their new profit sharing ratio, Question number 22, A is the right answer. Question number 23, weighted average method of valuation of the goodwill is used. See, when you have to make simple average of profits and when you have to make the weighted average of profits, what I said, while valuing the goodwill you have to see the past profits and should make the average of that past profits. But if the profits are either continuously increasing or continuously decreasing, then you have to make use of the weighted average is a point. In case of the weighted average, what is going to happen, friends? The latest year is going to get the highest weight is a point. So to give more weights to the profits of the latter years is the right answer. Of course, once you are through with the statistics and all, then what is weighted average is not a very big issue for you to understand. So the point of interest here is weighted average method of valuation of the goodwill is used to give the more weights to the weightage to the profits of the later year, because the latest years will be more representative of how the future profit is going to be. That made us to give the more weightage to the later years profits. But weighted average method when you use when profits are either continuously in the increasing trend or in the decreasing trend as a point. B is the right answer for question number 23. Question number 24. Money value of reputation of the concern measured in terms of its future earning capacity is called as goodwill. What is the definition of the goodwill? Goodwill is the extra earning capacity where expressed in monetary terms is called as a goodwill. So money value of the reputation of the firm. In another definition of the goodwill is what? It is the reputation of the firm, and using that reputation आप क्या करते? Extra profits earn कर सकते. In case Chakravarti and a company one partnership firm and Divya and company another partnership firm. Divya and company is doing the business for past 20 years and Chakravarti recently entered into the business. Naturally, although Chakravarti employed 10 lakhs of the capital and Divya also employed 10 lakhs of the capital, but the earning capacity of the Divya will be more because of the fact that she got a lot of reputation. But what is goodwill? It is a reputation of the firm which will help the firm to make extra earnings, and those extra earning capacity, that particular extra earning capacity once expressed in monetary terms, it is termed as a goodwill as a point. D is the right answer. Question number 25. An asset which is not fictitious but intangible in nature, having a realizable value. What is goodwill? Goodwill is a fixed asset having, what is it? Intangible value. See, point here is assets are of two types. Already we have discussed tangible assets and intangible assets. Goodwill is a fixed asset with which we classified it as an intangible asset. What is an intangible asset? Which you cannot touch, you can only feel. Whereas tangible assets means building, land, these are all the things which you can touch. So, what is goodwill? Goodwill is an intangible asset and it is not a fictitious asset. D is the right answer. Question number 26. Extra amount over and above the sales value of identifiable assets that could have fetched by selling an existing firm as a going concern is called as what? A goodwill. Yes, earlier also when I taught the concept, I explained to you what is a goodwill. Goodwill, once it's a case, there are two types of goodwill. One is purchased goodwill, another is a self-generated goodwill. What is the purchased goodwill and what is the self-generated goodwill? By doing the business, by rendering good services, by supplying the good goods, what the reputation you get is called as a self-generated goodwill. Whereas purchased goodwill ka matlab kya hua? That is, somebody else is doing the business and you are purchasing from them their business and you are paying more than what you are getting. That is, their total net assets value is 10 lakhs, whereas you are paying the purchase consideration of 12 lakhs. Then this extra 2 lakhs which you are paying over and above what you are getting is called as a amount paid towards the goodwill is a point. Amount paid towards the goodwill. So, purchased goodwill kaise calculate karte aap? The difference between the purchase consideration minus net assets taken over. If purchase consideration is more than the net assets taken over, then that difference you call it as a goodwill. That is example earlier we discussed in the concept also. Let me tell you, let me again revise that particular example. Let us suppose Divya and Monica are friends. Now, Monica purchased a calculator. Divya asked Monica, for what value you purchased this particular calculator? She said, it is not me, it is my father who purchased. Please inquire and come tomorrow. From your father you please inquire for what value he purchased. Then next day came and Monica came without inquiring, and Divya is a person who is not going to leave Monica without Monica saying what is the value. Again next day she asked Monica whether you inquired from your father for what value he purchased this for you. Then Monica just like that said, for 600 rupees. Immediately Divya said, my father brought it for 400 rupees for my sister. Now Monica got annoyed. Iska matlab kya hai? Tumhara father is good at dealings, whereas my father is not good at. It is not that case, Divya. Might be your father might have brought the same from the street, whereas my father purchased the same from showroom. So, will Monica accept that her father incurred a loss of 200? No, she will say that my father purchases the same from showroom. So, towards the goodwill of that, he has paid. See, for the youngsters, I need not tell about the payments towards the goodwill and all. Today, all is with what? Branded shirts. Normal shirts people will not wear. They want branded shirts. So, normal shirt और branded shirt के बीच में फर्क क्या रहता? फर्क क्या रहता? वैल्यू में रहता. Right? That extra किसके लिए उन्होंने पे कर रहे? ब्रांड के लिए पे कर रहे हैं. Isn't it or not? So, if you are paying more and getting less, that extra what you are paying is towards the goodwill you are paying. So, extra amount over and above the saleable value of an identifiable asset, identical assets that could be fetched by selling the existing firm as a going concern is a goodwill. So, where purchase consideration is more than the net assets taken over, it is called as a goodwill, and in fact goodwill is the royal name that you are giving for the capital loss. Isn't it or not, friends? If you are paying more and getting less, इसका मतलब क्या है? You have got the loss. तो वो कैपिटल लॉस का रॉयल नेम क्या लगा दिए आप? गुडविल बोल के लगा दिए. राइट डाउन, गुडविल इज इक्वल टू सेल कंसिडरेशन, परचेज कंसिडरेशन माइनस नेट एसेट्स टेकन ओवर, So if purchase consideration is more than the net assets taken over, it is called as goodwill. If purchase consideration is less than the net assets taken over, then it is called as a profit which you are going to transfer to which account? Capital reserve account is what we have discussed in the theory also. Question number 27, friends. A rate of return normally expected by the shareholder on their investment is called as a normal rate of return. What is normal rate of return? It is the expectation of the shareholder about the returns that gets generated out of his investment, that you call it as a normal rate of a return. So A is the right answer for question number 27. Question number 28, friends. Excess of average profits earned by the firm over and above the normal profit is called as the difference between the actual profit and the normal profit. Just now you have studied is called as a super profit. So what do you mean by super profit? Super profit is a difference between the actual profit and the normal profits. So C is the right answer for question number 28. Question number 29. Question number 29. Amount of the capital used by the business concerned to run its business activity is called as a capital employed. What do you mean by capital employed? It is the amount of the capital used by the business concerned to run its business is called as a, what is it? Capital employed is a point. Then friends, question number 30. Rate of profit estimated or expected on the capital employed is called as a normal rate of return. Normal rate of return का मतलब क्या है? Rate of a profit that is estimated or expected is called as a normal rate of a return. That question number 30, C is the right answer. Question number 31. When a goodwill account is raised at the time of admission of a partner, credit is given to the old partners in which ratio? In their old profit sharing ratio. Whenever goodwill is raised, goodwill is to be raised in which ratio? In the old profit sharing ratio. But this also has got an exception, friends. If the goodwill is raised only to the extent of the new partner's share in it, then it must be raised in the books and must be distributed among the old partners in their sacrificing ratio. But once goodwill is raised to the full extent, then the credit to the old partners of that particular goodwill must be made in the old profit sharing ratio. Write a small note there. Once goodwill is raised to the full extent, once goodwill is raised to the full extent, then it is to be distributed among the old partners. It is to be distributed among the old partners in their old profit sharing ratio. In their old profit sharing ratio. B is the right answer. Question number 32. The total of the shares sacrificed by the dash is equal to the share given to the new partner. So point here is, when naya admi aa raha bole to kya hona? When a new person is coming means what should happen, friends? Old people should adjust. है या नहीं? Old people adjust है करे तो नया आदमी आके बैठ के काम करते. Isn't it or not? Earlier, let us suppose in that cabin only 2 persons are sitting. Now we are bringing the third person to work in that particular cabin. तब क्या होता? Existing people दोनों भी sacrifice करे तो उन दोनों का sacrifice add करे तो नया आदमी का share आ जाएगा. That is what given in the English here. What is it? The total of the shares sacrificed by the old partners is equal to the share given to the new partner. Is equal to, corrected, is equal to the share given to the new partner. Question number 32, C is the right answer. Question number 33, when a new profit sharing ratio is deducted from the old profit sharing ratio, then sacrificing ratio aayega. Let us suppose earlier there are only 2 persons. Their share is what? 50-50. That is 1/2, 1/2. Now a new partner is coming. Then all the partners profit sharing ratio will be what? 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. इसका मतलब sacrificing कितना करे? उनो, that is 1/2 minus 1/3 is equal to 1/6. So each one sacrificed 1/6, 1/6. As a result of that became 2/6. 2/6 is nothing but 1/3. So point of interest is when new profit sharing ratio is deducted from the old profit sharing ratio, that is called as a sacrificing ratio. So C is the right answer for question number 33. Question number 34. Partners are liable to receive interest on their loan at what percentage? 6% per annum simple interest in the absence of anything contrary in the partnership deed. Partnership Act says if nothing is stated by the deed, then what is the interest on the loan is a 6% per annum. Question number 35, friends. A partner acts as dash as an agent of the firm is a point. Question number 36. Interest on capital will be paid to the partners if provided for in the agreement, but only from the profit. So interest need to be paid to the partners only when the deed says interest is to be paid, and interest will be paid only as an appropriation of the profit. Out of the profits only interest will be paid is a point, friends. Not as a matter of expense, it will not be debited to the profit and loss account, it will be debited to the profit and loss appropriation account as a point. So B is the right answer. Question number 37, friends. In the absence of an agreement to the contrary, partners are entitled to dash interest on the loans of the firm. 6% interest only when, that too also when there are profits. Whether there are profits or no profits. Whether there are profits or no profits, 6% of the interest will be paid is a point. C is the right answer. Whether profit is there or not, you have to calculate the interest and create a negative profit in case of profit is not there. So question number 37, C is the right answer. Question number 38. Normally the partners are entitled to dash interest on their capitals dash. Normally partners are entitled to 6% interest on their loans which are given by them. But what normally partners are entitled is no interest on their capitals regardless of the profits or losses. Because Partnership Act says what? Unless and otherwise the deed so specifically provides, there need not be any interest on capital and any salary to any partner, because Partnership Act presumes what? All partners are equal. They are going to bring the equal capital. They are going to make equal efforts towards the partnership firm. That made the Partnership Act to say that unless and otherwise contrary is stated in the deed, no partner is entitled for any interest on their capital or any salary for their efforts is a point.